What is going on, everybody? Back on it, One Piece episode 314. Um, Last episode was pretty damn good, even excluding the ending. Hearing Frankie talk about essentially the strongest wood in the world coming from these like great elder wood oak trees, whatever they're classified as. Um, I'm curious, just from a ship standpoint, does the wood have any other factors? Besides it, I guess being the strongest, does it move faster on water? Does it stronger against cannon fire? Those type of things, or it's just the best wood you could get. And then on top of that, we end with Luffy's grandfather showing up. And I'm gonna keep getting this confused. I think it's the vice part. I'm thinking vice admiral is ahead of admiral, but it's the other way around. So admirals are the highest you can go, unless you're gonna be, the top of the top, which we've seen. What's his name? Goku. He has the like goat that eats paper, or whatever the hell. I think no one goes higher than him as far as the Marines. And then the Okaji is the step below in the admiral category. Everybody else, including his grandfather, is in the vice admiral. So I think I got clarification on all that. I'm very curious what goes into promotion in those ranks. I'm going to assume it's simply not just power. And again, I don't know. I'll find out the more episodes I watch. But I would think that there's probably, just from a power standpoint, just strong, being able to kill, win a fight, Devil's Fruit ability, there's probably a lot stronger vice admirals out there than the current or past admirals. So I'm assuming that it's not just all power based on what gets you that title or that promotion or that rank of from vice admiral to admiral. Like, how did Okaji get that promotion? Because when we saw him in the Nico Robin flashbacks, he was vice admiral. Now that we've gotten introduced to him in the current time, which we got introduced to him first, he was admiral. So what happened in that time? Like, how did he get that promotion? So I'm curious kind of what goes into that. How political is the whole Marine standing? Who you know? What does it mean? Yada, yada, yada. Besides that, though, it's very interesting because, again, does, how do we go about the initials? Are they all blood related? Ace and Luffy we know for sure, but is Saul related? Is Gold D Roger related by blood? Is there something special about them? And then if not, why do they all happen to have the same? I don't know, there's a lot of questions with that, a lot of overarching lore questions, which I'm sure it's going to be a while because I'm about 800 episodes still to go. But let's see. Let us see. And here's the thing, how was he actually able to hit Luffy? Is it because he made contact with the top of his head? Is that the weakness? Monkey D. Garp? Hold on, I didn't get a chance to read all that. I did not get a chance to read all that. I want to go back and read that. Monkey D. Garp. And how was he able to hit him? Because usually when he gets punched, it like goes through, right? So how was that able to even happen? Monkey D. Garp. The first vice. Oh. Monkey D. Garp. Garp the Fist. Navy headquarters. Okay. All caught up on that. How was he able to make contact? Because don't punches and like bullets and things not make contact with him? Eh? I mean, why would he lie about that? Dang, they know that like we can't even run the smoke if we wanted to. They did it. Why is his head still steaming? Clearly he's got a Devil's Fruit ability that deals with his fist. So what is it? I wonder if we find it out here, if that's going to be saved for future references. Oh, it's because of what he did on Enies Lobby. I attach you to balloons. What am I looking at right now? So was he the one that looked after him? Who's the father? Who's the actual father? Maybe they just have a good grandfather relationship. This is why he doesn't die, right? Entrusted you with my friend. Who's the friend? He became a pirate. Shanks. The red-haired. It's terrible. Luffy got captured. Yeah, he's like totally not trying to fight. Okay, well. I bet you as soon as one of them moves, they wake up. Yo, Zoro would be in there, though. Oh, Lord. Well, I don't sense any like real threat here at the moment. I mean, granted, I'm sure he's crazy strong. But I'm not sensing like he's gonna kill us or seriously injure us type thing, you know? So we'll see. We'll see. Is he just mad because we became a pirate? Is he mad because of what we just did? He doesn't refer to him by name. Ooh. So there's 4 top pirates, and Shanks and Whitebeard are of the top 4. Ooh, and the warlords and the navy have joined together to take them down. So there's still one person they didn't show right there, correct? Because he said Shanks is among 4. They only showed us 3 silhouettes. So who's the 4th? I really need to go back and look at that text at the end. I don't want to rewind because I know that you guys, a handful of you, sync up your episodes. And it would be a bitch if I'm just like stopping, rewinding. So I'll let it flow, but we'll go back at the end. So Shanks is among the top 4 pirates in the world, along with Whitebeard and some other silhouette we haven't seen. And the 4 of those pirates are as strong as the entire navy, their admirals, their vice admirals, and the warlord pirates that they employ. I was about to say, these dudes over here try to run our pockets and shit. See what I'm saying? Zoro would never freeze. That's all I have to say about that. He's going right in. Ooh. We only have 2 swords, though. Hey. Oh. Not you, too. Well, we know how to deal with that, do we not? Good. These are the only two I can count on. Everybody else is useless. Absolutely useless. Does it look like a grown-up Coby? Is it him? Why did we hit a crazy growth? Hold on now. My man hit puberty like crazy. Look at the glasses. Look at the glasses. Holy shit. Oh, dang. Puberty hit him good then. Damn, okay. Good for him. I remember I brought this up probably 100 episodes ago. I wonder if those two were ever going to actually have to battle. Like, actually seriously battle. And make a decision that, like, okay, I have to separate between me as a Marine and Luffy as a friend. And vice versa of, like, I have to go through him. AKA kill him, which we don't kill anybody in the story of One Piece. But, like, fight to actually harm. It just seems like that should be a... There's so many episodes that I feel like every possible thing that you could think of in One Piece could happen. And I think those two might have to at some point. Damn, Coby. Okay. He's part of the crew. Coby Sergeant Major. Sergeant Major. Dang, okay. Good for him. Nice. Pop, 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 pop. I was about to say, he fucking blew up. He was short and stubby. So are we not addressing what they just did, or what? Like it's like everything's just fine, or? The one that had me captive, you piece of shit. Take off the dang Cyclops visor. Even he looks better. Thank God he got a new haircut. Laugh's still the same. He looks much better just from a character design purpose. I like how they're trying to kill episode time with giving me like the third flashback. They're lucky it works because I'm feeling cheated. Nah. Yes, they're enemies, but... Are you still friends? I really want them to play on that in future episodes. That question right there, that little 5 seconds. Luffy, we're enemies, but are we still friends? I want to see that play out in the future. And I don't know if Coby actually becomes something. Maybe he gets his hands on a devil's fruit. Maybe he becomes a vice admiral. Shit, maybe even admiral one day. Probably not. But I feel like with so many episodes, you could play on that. And we've yet to see Luffy have to go again. Like, that just seems like a good storyline. So what are you here for, man? It's great. I love it. But what's the deal here? He busted in there like the Kool-Aid man. And now he's like, okay, we gotta put it back. What are you here for, man? I have a dad? Did we see him? Who did we run into that could possibly be it? Blackbeard? Is that who we're talking about? No, I can't remember. Lug. We've been to so many places. We saw him. Loketown's where we saw that old man down in like the sewers and shit, right? And then Luffy wanted to go to the place where he was executed. That's where that place was, right? Where did we run into Blackbeard at? What was the island called before we went to Skypiea? I don't know, bro. Yeah. Loketown was that. Where he wanted to go see. And we ran into Buggy and the flippin' big lady that's now small and... Who's the dad? Is it Buggy? I thought it was gonna be Blackbeard for a second, but I'm getting my locations mixed up. That actually would have been kind of cracked if it was. Who's the dad? Bro, show me the dad. I don't need all this. Unless it is Buggy, then. Luffy said, I have a dad? Okay. Now you're getting a little too cheap with these flashbacks, guys. I was enjoying it, but now we're taking it a little too far. We only got like a minute left. You're really milking it. Damn, Enru coming in and saving our life and shit. Who is it, damn it? The only person you've shown me is Buggy. And we know it's not Shanks, so what? Yes, you fully jogged my memory. I remember Logtown. I remember what happened. Yes. Who's the dad? There's Evita, or whatever her name is. Was it the guy that we ran into? Is he the one that saved us? That like cut us off? Didn't we meet up with someone? Eh? Oh, the one in the shadow that showed up. Did we ever see who was behind that? Remember we were having theories then. Ah. So is his father a pirate? Is his father a marine? Is he good? Is he bad? So that's also Ace's father, correct? Dragons by several Garp's son. No, I don't know the name Dragon. Fill me in, bro. Why is she standing back there like that? Like, Robin, explain it to me like I'm 5.
自分から政府や海軍を襲うことはないけど、今世界政府を直接倒そうとしている力があるの。それが革命軍。その頂点に立つ男がドラゴンよ。
There's a third power in the world.
その思想が広がって王国に反乱を招き、いくつもの
Alabasta?
政府は当然怒り、その黒幕ドラゴンを世界最悪の犯罪者としてずっと探し回っているんだけど、彼は市場の片鱗すら全くつかめない謎の男だったのに。
I mean, Luffy has no information about him at all. Eh?
あ、これやっぱ言っちゃまずかったかの。
Awkward. Okay, we got a lot of moving parts here.
じゃあ今のなし。
Yeah. We'll just act like that was never said. I think that's it. Oh, what's this little image montage you got going here? That was the only shot they gave us, so this is the family tree right here. Interesting. So I want to go back to... Oh, right here. This is what we want. This is what we want right here. So this is when I think One Piece has been at its best, is the lore building. It gives me very much like the vibes of Naruto, but I feel like One Piece has been doing a little bit better of it. Simply for the fact of, like, with the world building in Naruto, it kind of didn't come until the very end of the story. I mean, 90% of the story is just spent within the Leaf Village, and to be honest, there was only mentions of the Sand Village and the Leaf Village for essentially 90%. You would hear things of like, oh, the Mist Village like did this, or we were at war with other nations, or they would show the other nations on the map, but we would never go to it, never see people from it, never even see the other Hokages, you know, those type of things, until we started to get close to the very end of the story when the last major arc is happening, the war arc, which granted is hundreds of episodes, but still though, as far as like a climax of watching a story, they don't world build or show us any other like nations, Kage's abilities, and those type of crazy things until the very end. And then same thing with like the whole Madara and Hashira build up, Hashirama build up. It's kind of all clumped and thrown to the end. They would randomly always talk about, you know, Madara Uchiha and Hashirama cells, but that would be like as far as it went. And then we hit a boiling point of like, we hit a line with Naruto, and then they just dumped us with it. Everybody's got Hashirama cells, and he's Madara, you're Madara. All the Kage come back to life. We see, with the reanimation, we saw a previous Kage of the other Kages that we see. Like, it was a lot. Just all at once. With One Piece, they're doing the same thing, you know, mentioning names and sprinkling things in, but they're actually going into a little bit more depth with it, other than just mentioning like, yeah, you know, there's 4 good pirate lords out there that we're battling with, and then just kept it moving. But they're showing us silhouettes and giving us background information into it, so I do like the way they're doing that a little bit more. Because One Piece has its, you know, it has its giggle moments and its giggle games and its jokes, and those are cool. There doesn't seem to be many stakes yet that I feel like when I'm watching a fight. I don't feel any stakes. I don't feel that anybody's ever in danger. But I will give them a tip of the cap with the world building, for sure. I've liked that so far. Let me go back and hit this real quick. There are countless pirates nowadays. Okay. He's ranked in the top 4 pirates in the same league as Whitebeard. But with that, though, you see they're only showing us 3 silhouettes. So these 4 top pirates, right? The warlords that are currently, you know, in cahoots, in a little treaty agreement with the Navy, are they on the same level? Like, what are we talking here? Like Crocodile and Flamingo Boy. I think those are the only two warlords we've seen. Think. Let's just take those two for example. Where are they power-wise here with Whitebeard and Shanks? Now, some of it is hard to say because a lot of this is Devil's Fruit, and I'm sure there's a power system we're going to get introduced to with One Piece that we just haven't yet. Same thing with like Hunter x Hunter. Spoiler if you haven't seen that. Like we go like the first couple arcs and then it's like, oh shit. They then teach us about Nen, and it just unlocks so much shit. Then you can really start ranking things. Same thing with here. All we've got introduced to is Devil's Fruit, and that's really all we have to go off of. They're starting to show us abilities with like the CP9 members and stuff like that. But if we're saying Crocodile and Flamingo Boy, are we saying Whitebeard and Shanks and those other four pirates? Are they all? They could easily all compete. Like you could easily put Crocodile and Flamingo over there in the top four, and put Shanks and Whitebeard over here, and it would be the same kind of like power struggle. Or is it like not even close? Do you think that the ones that are in cahoots with the military, are they purposely in cahoots with them because there's just not shit we can do with these other four? Like these four pirates run the world, so it's like I'm never going to be able to oppose them or get stronger than them, so I might as well team up with the next strongest opposing force and then see. So I'm curious kind of where that is. Is it like Flamingo and Shanks and the other ones are just slightly above them, or is it like not even close? Good question. And they're only showing us 3 silhouettes here, so who's the fourth? He said top 4 pirates. Whitebeard, Shanks, don't know who this is, and then we have a completely other silhouette that we haven't even seen. These 4 reign over the second half of the Grand Line. Okay. And now, are these 4 in... They're not like working together though to maintain that second half of the Grand Line or to maintain that power again. I feel like those 4 are all individual powers. And if they teamed up, they'd be a lot stronger. Because didn't we see in that one episode where we got the other crazy lore dump? What was that, right before Skypiea or right after? Didn't Shanks send like a messenger to Whitebeard? Weren't they talking about like trying to like band together or something like that? And he was like, no, I'm not having that shit. So they're just 4 independent powers. But those 4 independent powers are opposing the locked-in Navy and warlords. Those 4 might get to a point where they need to come together, or they're going to slowly get picked off one by one, I would think. But again, I don't know how strong, so... Navy headquarters and the 7 warlords of the sea have joined together to fight against those 4. But those 4 aren't one unified power, are they? So when he's saying the balance of those three, when he's speaking specifically of those 3 great powers, like the power balance, is he speaking of warlords, navy, 4 emperors, those 3 powers? Going to assume. And then the Dragon Boy, was he I'm trying to remember that interaction between him and Smoker. I can't. Did Smoker, like, did he acknowledge him at one point? He's like, I'm trying to remember. Was it more like, oh, what are you doing here? Like, why are you... I can't remember how that exchange went. If Smoker recognized and knew who that was. And then, so we're saying, so with the 3 powers, we've got the 4 Emperors, Shanks, Whitebeard, and the 2 other TBD. The Warlords with Crocodile, who no longer is, Flamingo Boy, and then the Navy power. Is there a 4th world power emerging? Maybe not as strong as the 3, but they are getting. And then theirs is to, which is what his father is, Monkey D. Dragon, they were saying his motivation is to oppose the government's power, which in turn would be the Navy's power. Would he not want to maybe align himself with the four emperors, perhaps? If your goal is to take, if your one objective is to take out the Navy, the government, why not team up with other forces that also oppose said Navy, said government? Go ahead and take out said Navy, said government, then deal with the rest after the fact. Instead of trying to, which I don't know, like, is the revolutionary, are they also fighting pirates as well? Like, they don't want any of this shit? My thing is, like, you're trying to, like, spread yourself too thin when you're not as strong as... Oh, granted, we don't know how strong his father is, but from the way it sounds like they're not on the same, I guess maybe just overall influential power level as the emperors, the Navy, and the warlords. So why not try to hone in on one factor? Me personally, I'd go approach these four emperors and be like, hey, I'm trying to take their asses down. Even if I can get one of them to agree, go bully the Navy, and go from there. I don't know, but again, I think One Piece does best with the world building. I feel like it's weak in some other aspects, which everything is. Every story is. No story's perfect. Even if you're the biggest fanboy, I think, of any story, whether that's One Piece, Naruto, Attack on Titan, Hunter x Hunter, whatever, if you can just peel off the One Piece shaded glasses, or the Naruto shaded glasses, or whatever, and be able to be objective. You know, not everything's perfect, but I'll give it props when it's props. And when they have these episodes, so an episode like this, an episode like, I don't remember what that episode was, where we went to the round table with Son Goku and his paper-eating Billy Goat and Doflamingo meeting up and hearing, you know, dropping the name and getting introduced to Blackbeard, and I'm like, those are some good, and Whitebeard at the same time. Like, those are some good episodes, some top episodes. So I'll go ahead and leave it there. Some good stuff. I know it might be another 100 episodes until we get something like this, but oh, and then the Coby stuff, man, hit puberty like crazy. I'm curious if that's a storyline that we will play on as we go down the road, because I feel like with One Piece, since there's so many episodes, anything that you can think of you should be able to see come to fruition, in my opinion. Of course, if you're thinking of outlandish shit, like, I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh well, I bet Nami's gonna get a crazy devil's fruit and she's gonna become just as strong as Luffy and she might be able to battle him for captain. Like, okay, not anything you can think of. Let's go with something that's already been kind of like a foundation that's been constructed. So here, like, I asked this, I think when they first were on screen in like the first couple episodes, of like, I wonder if those two are going to oppose each other as the story goes. Luffy makes his way up in the ranks as like one of the pirates in the world. Coby makes his way up the ranks as one of the top Marines. Maybe he becomes one of the better vice admirals. Maybe he becomes a admiral, you know? And they have to face off. I feel like that's a story you can play on. And I'd be really curious to see how that goes, because it was even hinted at here of Coby asking the question of like, hey, we're enemies, but he didn't want to ask, are we still friends? Luffy had to like follow up and say it. So I would love to see them like opposing, and then that same question being posed of like, hey, you know, I have to do this, but are we still friends? And see them like, will they fully go at it, or will they try to like save each other, or come to... I can't explain that, how that'll go, because that's just a whole nother writing thing. But I would like to see like them both elevate themselves a little bit higher up in the ranks of as far as the world goes. And see them actually have to face off. I'm not talking about like one of them holding back, and like they have to get through each other to get to whatever plot point of the arc is going on. That could be interesting. One of the better episodes. We'll go ahead and leave it there. Appreciate it, everybody. Like, share, subscribe as always.